way. Allah tells you He wants you to ponder, He wants you to think. You want to know the greatness of Allah. You will never know the greatness of Allah exactly as it is, but you will get close to understanding that Allah is the greatest. And we always say Allahu Akbar, which actually translates as Allah is greater. Greater than what? Everything you know, everything you shall know in the future. Allah is greater than everything. Allah is greater than whatever you and I are doing right now. Allah has absolute control of every aspect of your existence and mine. That is Allah. Allah is greater. So Allahu Akbar. Allah wants you to ponder over everything in order to realize and understand how insignificant you and I are and how grand Allah is, so that perhaps you may be reminded to turn to Him, to develop a good relationship with Him, to be able to at least pray, at least do the right thing, because you have no option but to return to whoever made you. And what Allah says is He wants you to have a good relation with the one who made you, and it is Him. You will go back to He who made you. When we are faced with a loss, we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Don't we say that? Let me give you some bad news. Yesterday I was in Leeds and I mentioned a friend of mine. His name is Zaki bin Nasruddin from Malaysia, 47 years old if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 46. And he's quite a health fanatic. He rides bicycles and he is quite healthy. Suddenly had a stroke and fell, went unconscious, and we made a dua for him yesterday in Leeds that Allah grant him cure. This morning I got up with a photograph of Sheikh Hussein Yee at the janazah of the brother, and they were burying him. And because of the time difference, I only got the message later when I got up. When I saw that, what do you think I said first? What dua? Let's say it aloud. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Indeed, we all belong to Allah. He made us. Before we were born, we were with Him. And when we die, we're going to go back to Him. We all belong to Allah, and we shall all return to Allah. So Allah wants you to ponder. You want to know the greatness of Allah? Look at everything you can look at and tell yourself, Allah made it. Imagine how the maker must be, subhanallah. Minimum you realize is there is nothing of value on earth that can come between you and Allah, because Allah is the highest and the greatest, and He made those things of value. Sometimes a brother says, am I allowed to stay in my business when there is a very, very big deal while Salatul Jum'ah or the Friday prayer is going on? What's the answer? Say it loudly. No. Did someone say yes here? Be careful, Birmingham. I tell you, no, you're not allowed. You need to close down, or you need to put someone else whom the Jumu'ah is not compulsory upon there, and you need to go. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. O you who believe, are you one of them? Are you one of them? If you are, then you need to listen. Yes, that's me. Let me hear what's being said. Oh, you who believe. And immediately it says, when the call is called for prayer on a Friday, then hasten towards the remembrance of Allah and leave your trade. Leave it. Drop it and run to Allah. Why? The owner of the money that you're going to make is calling you towards something else. Drop it and go. When you come back, He will give you greater blessings. That is Allah. And this is why Allah says, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. When the prayer is over, then you disperse on the earth and you can search for the favor of Allah. You can do your business and you can do whatever you want, but go and listen to the message. You know why? Allah is greater. When the caller calls to prayer, He says, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. What does that mean? It means whatever you're doing right now and whatever you want to do in the next few moments and whatever you have and everything around you and whatever you are seeing and whatever you know, Allah is greater, Allah is greater. Drop everything and rush towards He who is greater, because He tells you, Hayya ala salah. Come to prayer. And you might think, well, you know what? I need to just quickly do this. I need to quickly do that. I need to do this and that. No. Immediately after that, Allah tells you, you would like success. What is success? Today you see a guy driving a Lamborghini. He's got a beautiful house. His wife, subhanallah, someone with, let me not talk about the women because they will complain. But subhanallah, whatever is happening and you feel you have everything on earth, and the youngsters look at you and say, whoa, when I grow up, I'd like to be like that guy. Why? Because he seems to have everything. If he doesn't have Allah in his equation, he actually has nothing, because he has whatever is going to help him in his temporary life on earth, but he does not have a relation with the one whom he's going to go back to for eternity. The people who've died 200 years ago lived for far shorter a time than they've already passed on. I will tell you, when did this guy pass away? You say, well, 200 years ago he died. And how long did he live for? You will say 70 years. What was longer, his life or the time between our life and his death? The second, right? The latter, right? So that goes to show eternity, you're going to go back to Allah. Don't allow the temporary world to disrupt your connection with the eternal, because Allah is the one who will grant that to you. And that's why immediately after that, you might think there's going to be, I'm going to lose something. Why should I pray? Why should I dress modestly? Why should I do this? Why should I read the Quran? Why should I spend time with adhkar? I'm so busy doing this and busy doing that. Allah says Allah is greater than whatever you are busy with. Drop it and come and pray. And if you think that that will bring you success, which you were doing, immediately Allah tells us, the caller to the prayer says, Hayya ala al-falah. Amazing. Doesn't it sound so beautiful? You know what it means? Come to success. Would you like success? Well, come this way. Drop what you're doing. That is real success. What you have in your hand is temporary. I know so many people who've had money, it was stolen. I know people who said, I know a guy in particular, and he knows who he is, right? He's not in Birmingham, so I'm safe. But I think we're live. Should I keep quiet or should I say the story? Astaghfirullah. It's not backbiting because I'm not mentioning his name. But Birmingham, I hope you guys don't backbite normally in your lives. MashaAllah. The one brother said, but I'm saying it in front of him. So I said, what is that called, front biting? Astaghfirullah al-azim. But nonetheless, the brother told me that I have approximately $5 million worth of cryptocurrency. Right? $5 million. I told him, my brother, can you see those birds in the sky? He says, yes, they were, birds flying. MashaAllah. So you see those birds in the sky, all of them are mine. That's what you're telling me. He said, what do you mean? I said, bring the cash, let's see it. Don't tell me I got this and I got that. Crypto is exactly like the birds in the sky. All of them are yours. Bring one, let's see it. Come on, show me what happened. Guess what? Some time later, he told me, Sheikh, I lost a big amount. I said, what? He said, I'm embarrassed to tell you. And I told him, my beloved brother, That's why we say that when Allah tells you what you have in your hand is not even guaranteed. You can lose it anytime. Things can change. Look at our brothers and sisters in Gaza. They lost everything overnight. They are bombarded to smithereens. Genocide committed against them and nobody's doing anything about it. And we have dedicated this entire tour to them. Look at our brothers and sisters in other parts of the world, places where they've suffered floods and earthquakes and volcanoes and whatever else, and they've lost things overnight, the flooding, whatever it might have been. May Allah never do that to us. Say Ameen. May Allah safeguard us. My brothers and sisters, whenever you see someone go through a challenge, always ask Allah to grant them ease and to protect you from facing the same. Always ask Allah. Don't take it for granted. Allah wants you to ponder. It happened to them, let it not happen to you. But it could. So Allah says, prepare for that day by being humble. Moments ago, I met a young boy who goes by the name of the Quran student. His name is Abdullah. His little brother's name is Abdurrahman.